Thank you so very much for joining us on another exciting episode of the John Mayaki Show today. We are glad to have you on the show. Today, we're discussing factors shaping next week's governorship election in Anambra State. That is, there are factors shaping the governorship election to be held next week in Anambra State. So next week, specifically by November on the 6th, the governorship election in Anambra State will be holding. I'm sure you're aware of that. But some of the major political parties are still swimming in troubled waters. There are crises everywhere. Despite efforts to close their ranks, the major political parties are still confronted with a lot of issues. And these issues are yet resolved, issues emanating from their primaries. In the PDP, for instance, the major stakeholders are defecting to other parties. Mainly, they are all shopping for the All Progressive Congress, APC, because of what transpired at the venue of the party's primary. As a result, the PDP is depleted. Now, you have the PDP, you have the APGA, you have the APC, you have other parties. But majorly, there is heat on the PDP and the APGA. A lot of them are defecting to the All Progressive Congress. And so major key players turning their back on the candidate, that is Valentine Ozigbo. Valentine Ozigbo is not finding it easy. Some of the major players that have left the party include Senator Stella Odua, the senator representing Anambra North Senatorial District. There is this Senator Joy Emodi, a former Board of Trustee member. There is Linda Ikpeazu, representing Onitsha North South Federal Constituency, also decamped to the APC. You have Onyebuchi Ofo. Onyebuchi Ofo is the younger brother to the business mogul, Sir Emeka Ofo. They've all decamped to the APC. In fact, this morning, news filtered into our newsroom that the guy who contested against Charles Soludo has also decamped from APGA to APC. And so most of them say they are leaving the party for the former governor. In the PDP, they said they are leaving PDP because of Peter Obi, who they claim has hijacked the party because of Valentine Ozigbo. This is quite unfortunate, but of course, we are happy in the APC because it is to our credit. The stakeholders that claim Obi is running the party in the PDP like it's private business, and so does not give any person the opportunity to air his or her view, and so they decamp. The manipulation they led that the emergence of Ozigbo made Dr. Obiora Okonkwo to join the Zenith Labour Party to pursue his governorship ambition. That is quite interesting for us in the APC. Chief Chris Chikwelu Chris is one of the chieftains that left the PDP because of Obi's alleged overbearing attitude. Don't forget that Chikwelu is from the same town as Peter Obi. The party still has a case in the Supreme Court against Chief Chris Oba's group. The situation is tough in the PDP ahead of the election. It is quite tough. If you see the campaign of the PDP, there's a video on the campaign of the PDP. Of course, they are doing their best when it comes to campaign. You see the PDP there. When it comes to campaign.
Before the election, so
we are going to have a governor PDP for Anambra State.
In the past, you don't know who is going to be the delegate, but we've known them now years before the election. So PDP is by far more than prepared.
We must show commitment, resilience, and be prepared to knock on doors from party to party.
And so, with all of this, you can see, despite the fact that they are on the field campaigning, their members are being depleted. members who are supposed to bring in more people, they are leaving the party in droves. Many of them have described Ozigbo as a good man, but the Pharaoh-like leadership approach of his godfather, Peter Obi, has ruined the party. And many make it difficult for him to, they say it will make it difficult for him to triumph at the poll. Besides, the influence of Rivers State Governor, Mr. Nyesom Wike, is absent, presently absent in the scheme of things in Anambra State. He is one of the PDP's most rugged mobilizers, but he seems very uninterested in participating in the Anambra governorship elections. As for the All Progressive Grand Alliance, the crisis is another big mountain to climb. That is your man, Professor Soludo, Chukwuma Soludo. The party has already lost many of its members, again to the APC, including the deputy governor deputizing for the present governor. The present governor, Obiano, has Soludo as his candidate. So the deputy governor has also decamped. The guy who contested against Soludo in APGA has decamped. Everybody is leaving APGA in droves. And the lines are open. Please use the lines displayed on the screen and call us to share your thoughts concerning this discussion. The only notable name today in APGA is Senator Victor Ume. That is the only notable name you will call in APGA today in Anambra State. Most of the bigwigs have all abandoned Soludo and the governor, Obiano. Some of those that defected from the party to the APC said they are leaving APGA for the APC because of the Aguleri cabal in APGA, which is the ruling party in the state. APGA is the ruling party. They are saying there's a cabal in Aguleri. Don't forget that the governor is from Aguleri, that there's a cabal in Aguleri. And so they are leaving the party. Despite the Supreme Court judgment in favor of APGA's candidate, that is Professor Chukwuma Soludo, the Chukwuma Umeoji faction is unrelenting in making sure that the party loses the November 6th election. I just told you that Chukwuma Umeoji has decamped to the All Progressive Congress this morning. The faction is mobilizing its members. Umeoji is mobilizing its members, even contemplating going into alliance that was, as at yesterday, it was contemplating making alliance. Today, he has made up his mind to join the APC. That is a big blow to the APGA. If they had settled, bring all their members together, they would have come up as a formidable force against the other parties. As it stands, APGA is depleted. Already, APGA has lost 8 members of the State House of Assembly to the APC, alongside the deputy governor and 4 members of the House of Rep. I mean, that is quite depleting. The crisis is increasing instead of abating. The choice of Soludo as the flag bearer by Governor Willie Obiano has put a wedge in the progress of the party. Things are not going to... All of this will affect the outcome of the election. They will affect, in one way or the other, it's either a suppression of votes, sympathy votes here and there, and all of those. Even the candidate of the ruling party, Professor Charles Soludo, is reported to be too arrogant to the electorate. And they say he sees himself as the only educated person in the party, and as such, members are leaving the party in droves. That is quite... The lines are open. Feel free, call us and share your thoughts with us. Wherever you are, if you are abroad, if you are in Nigeria, if you are in Anambra, tell us how the elections will look like. Tell us what is happening in Anambra State and how you think some of these issues will shape the outcome of the election. As we speak, some of the members are merely perching. Some of the members of APGA are merely perching and sitting on the fence. Most of them, from the reports reaching us, they want to watch how things pan out by November 6th. But the candidate of APGA is said to be hopeful of winning the election. The APGA claim, oh, don't worry, we are going to win the election. We are doing a lot of things. We have his followers are saying that if Anambra governorship election is conducted today, Professor Charles Soludo will likely get 60% of the vote cast. And they claim that the rest votes, that is 40%, will go to about 17 candidates of the other political parties. And some people would think this is complete joke. You are claiming that 60%, don't forget, a lot of persons has left his camp. The deputy governor living with a chunk of his followers, the 4 House of Rep members, the guy who contested against him, that is Chukwuma Umeji, all of them living in drove. House of Assembly members living, a lot of other names that are also the campaign, and they are claiming they will get 60% of the vote cast. That is not possible. And they're saying that 17 candidates from other political parties will share the remaining 40%. I'm not sure that is possible. I'm not sure. But they insist that this allocation of vote was reflected in an online poll conducted by the 247 U Reporters. U Reporters is a popular online news media in Anambra State. And they say so far, 1,132 people have voted in this online poll in support of Charles Soludo. In another poll conducted a few weeks ago by BVI Channel 1 Media Collaboration, in collaboration with Good Governance Ministry, Soludo got 53% and all of those. I'm not sure how they come about all of this. They said the vote cast to defeat the closest rival in that poll, according to them, is Mr. Valentine Ozigbo of the PDP. Now, that is to tell you something is wrong somewhere. If you have people decamping from PDP and APGA, APGA then arrange an online poll to say the closest rival to the APGA guy is PDP, whereas the crisis in these parties are overwhelming. How do you then claim 60% and other parties sharing 40%? With all these online polls, will these online polls reflect the reality on ground come November 6th? We are yet to see that. If these online polls, if those guys who voted online have voters card and they are ready to cast their vote, it is yet to be seen. It is also possible that someone somewhere is manipulating figures to suit his or her candidate, and these things, until on the election day, we'll see that. The recent spate of defection across all these parties, especially the PDP and APGA, will definitely tell on them. And of course, it is going to favor, it is already favoring the APC. It's swelling the ranks of the APC. But however, the ZLP, whose candidate is Dr. Obiora Okonkwo, is also preparing for the election. They are also, although they may not have the magnitude of crisis these other parties are experiencing, they are not quite stable. Of course, they are into the election too. Any form of crisis can erupt that party and collapse it. And so there are other parties into this election. Let us see the video of that party. Let us see what they are saying. So the same thing. Yeah,
oh boy, look at them, look at that over there. Look at the fire about. Now let us give us a campaign.
I think that was last week or 2 weeks ago when he stormed Lagos with his campaign. And the question people then ask is that a serious candidate? You need grassroots support. You need to talk to your people. Campaign can never be too much in Anambra State, in the wards, in the local government, villages, hamlets, in the capital city of Akwa. You then storm Lagos with some guys who are not likely to vote in Anambra State? Or is he going to ship these guys from Lagos to Anambra State? Is he going to manufacture a voters card for them? Have they got voters card? Will they vote on election day? Those are some of those questions people begin to ask. Why the same what is his name? Ifeanyi Uba will take campaign to Lagos. People, we wonder what he planned to achieve from that. There are other factors that will shape the election. Other factors will shape the election. Anambra State, don't forget, is a Christian state. And so it is not uncommon in Christian state for there to exist a denominational divide in the polity. Don't forget. Care must, however, be taken in the discussion of denominational politics in Anambra State, since it is a dimension of its power construction. In most communities in Anambra State, the Catholic-Anglican divide started with the advent of Christianity in Igbo land. The lands are there open, feel free call and tell us your thoughts concerning Anambra State, how things are shaping out in Anambra State. For instance, concerning the denominational factor, the religious factor shaping the election in Anambra State. In the educational sector, for instance, we have the Federal Polytechnic in Oko, Federal College of Education Technica in Umuneze, and then we have Nnamdi Azikiwe University in Akwa. These three institutions are led by people of different faiths. And so in the various faculties and schools, the same sentiments abound. However, this denominational dimension and divide did not stall the progress of the state. Appointments, employment, projects, representation and programs to an appreciable degree took into account these divisions and public offices were handled with commensurate sensitivity to this state of affairs. These age-long dichotomies and mistrust between Catholic on one hand and Anglicans on the other hand and Protestants on the other hand were made worse by the dispositions and actions of the Governor Obiano leadership. It is too unfortunate. He is a Catholic. If you know him, he's a Catholic, and his administration engaged in several feuds with the other guys, that is the Anglicans. Many of these were unnecessary. This will impact in the election against his candidate because the Protestants are not happy about that. But this is quite avoidable and unfortunate and could easily be interpreted, given the power construct, as repression and marginalization. That is what you see there. When you belong to a particular sect, you believe you are a Christian or you are a Muslim, you want to divide the other guys, you want to marginalize the other guy and repress them so that their impact is not felt in government. You don't even appoint them into government. That, according to information we get from Anambra State, William Obiano's tenure increased increased this marginalization against the Protestants. This will impact in the election, and it's going to be against his candidate. That is Professor Charles Soludo. When one takes a closer look at the diversity of his appointees, his cabinet positions, his social interactions, his body language, one cannot blame the Anglicans for feeling the way they do today. It will sure impact on them. It will impact on Soludo. By his actions and inactions, Chief Obiano has made the denominational divide a principal talking point in the political season in Anambra State. And so the Catholic-Anglican-Protestant divide runs deep. When you discuss Anambra politics, you must discuss the Catholic-Anglican-Pentecostal divide. While this contention for Agu-Akwa is on, the talk about the denominational divide will be gaining momentum. APC, of course, will reap from that, positively reap from that. The denominations are not showing signs of coming to the round table at all, and deciding for a rotational candidacy like the politicians have done with senatorial zoning and rotation. In the November 6th election, politicians will seek to divide, especially using different bases to do so, as long as they perceive that the divisions favor them the Catholic, the Anglican, Protestant divide. Unfortunately, church denomination is one of such artificial divisions weak politicians will try to capitalize on, especially to gain traction and gain votes. The lines are there displayed on the screen. Wherever you're watching us from, call us and share your thoughts on the Anambra. Who do you think will have the day in that state? Unfortunately, too, the current situation, the current security situation in Anambra State is also not helping matters. Going by the atmosphere generated by unknown gunmen in the state at the moment, the activities have also impacted the level of political activities of the various political parties. It's not going to help. It's not helping at all. But the president has said that the elections must hold against all odds. The president has said it is the right of the people to vote and must be protected against any individual or group of individuals planning to stop the election. And so a lot of security measures has been put in place. Anambra people should be calm. Ad hoc officers should be calm. Those who are going to participate in one way or the other should be assured that the president is doing everything possible to make sure there's peace in the state and that the election will go unhindered. The president has also directed that the elections must be free and fair, and that is what the APC stands for. The elections will be free and fair. The APC is campaigning everywhere, and we expect that it will yield result. The president has warned the security chiefs against siding any political party, and that is the stand of APC. The president has warned that the security agencies must not support any individual in the election. Go and vote, campaign and vote, and make sure there's no crisis. We want to appreciate all of you who join us today on this show, where we'll draw the curtain here, and to say that this will be all on the edition of the John Mayaki Show today. Until we come your way again, remember that life is a gift, and that every day you live to witness is an opportunity to do something great, something capable of changing your destiny. Take care, take charge. Bye for now.